Hi, my name is Teacher Rachel, and today I'm going to talk about bookings and cancellations. Right now, it is Chinese New Year, and I'm seeing on the Facebook pages a lot of teachers are going, "Oh my goodness, every one of my students canceled on me." No, they didn't. Well, if you only have a handful of students, they may have all canceled. But it usually is not quite as bad as it looks, because here's what's going on. A student, most students are on auto bookings, which means you get really excited. The teacher, you finish teaching and the student books you again. That's exciting, right? And so you have all these classes from a few students that you've taught, and they auto book. The moms and the dads have nothing to do with that. The computer doesn't. We have a big holiday. They are traveling all over the place. So one of two things are going to happen. Number one, they don't check their schedule, and you get a student no-show. If your student does show up, it's mid-class, end of class. They don't even know they have these classes booked. They forget. They think they've canceled. They don't. Or they get on their little iPhones, and they say, "Oh, look, I'm booked for several classes." And they say, "But we're going to see grandma that week. We're going to be in the on the farm. There's no Wi-Fi. We cannot have 3 classes. So, you are class 3." They've booked lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3 for this week. You are teaching lesson 3. They go in and pull up their Monday schedule, and they cancel lesson 1. The system, they have nothing to do with it. The system will automatically cancel you from class 3 and rebook you for class 2. If you are watching the app, you will see this happen. So now you have a cancellation for class 3, and you have a booking for class 2, because they're not taking class 1 here, they're taking class 1 and 2. Now mom goes in and cancels class 2, which is now the new, class 1 again. Cancels the Wednesday class. All right? Now the system cancels your class 2 and books you for class 1. You just got a second cancellation and a booking. Exciting, aggravating. What happened? Well, now she gets to Friday, where you are booked to originally teach class 3, but now it says you will be teaching class 1. She cancels it. It looks like you just got canceled for 3 classes. You didn't. You only got canceled once. Okay? Many times a parent will go in, they'll book a class, they'll pull up the teacher profile. Oh, well, maybe I don't like this teacher, and then cancel you. Or they book you because you're available, and they keep looking because they want little Bao Bao to have a good teacher. But one of their top 5 teachers is available. So they cancel you, book with their top 5 teacher. While they're rearranging schedules, booking, unbooking, they may book 10, 12 classes with different teachers, then go back, decide which teacher fits in their schedule, and cancel everybody else. Don't get too worried or too offended while the computers are catching up with and canceling, rebooking, canceling, rebooking. Teachers ask to be able to see this. Once upon a time, we didn't see it. Not that long ago, when I've only been teaching a year, when I first started teaching, they just disappeared. And the teacher said, "We want to see if they cancel." So now we see if they, so we started to see the cancellations. And, but they didn't stick around. So now we see everything the computer does. So if they have booked 12 classes and you're the 10th class, you may see this student manipulating all these classes as the parents add and subtract classes before yours. It can be a little scary if you're a new teacher, or if you've not been around, or you don't realize what the computer is doing. A lot of your bookings and rebookings and unbookings and cancellations are the computer. Okay? Relax. Enjoy your downtime. Because sooner or later they're going to say, "Oh, we're going to town tomorrow." Bow Bow can get in, or Ivan, or Hamburger, or Tweety Bird. Have you had a Tweety Bird? I've not had a Tweety Bird. But I have had a hamburger and a pizza and a few other strange things. They're going to town on Tuesday. While we're in town on Tuesday, we can let little Hamburger, Susie, Joy, Amos, Obadiah, we can let our child take some classes. So they're going to go in and short notice book 2 or 3 classes while they're in town, and you'll get to teach in all kinds of strange places. So open the short notices. Some, not all, some will get booked. We're going to the restaurant. The restaurant has Wi-Fi, so during dinner, Amanda can take a class. You see how it works? The parents aren't really preparing much in advance. So, relax, enjoy your downtime, because when they get back in 2 weeks, a week, they are going to be working hard. This is what I saw last year. And for new teachers who are willing to open short notice slots, this is when I really saw my business take off. During Christmas, I opened slots. The established teachers did not. I got a few bookings. I got a few good reviews. Early on, someone said, leave a, "Hey, thank you for the help, learning partner." So I always write something for the learning partner, or most of the time. And never yawn in class. Never. You just grin and hope you don't need to say anything. So, what happened was, as Christmas and New Year for Americans passed, I had gotten about 20 classes during this time all over the place. I mean, I was getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes to teach one class, leave feedback, go back to bed. And it was hard. But as January rolled past, I began to see some of these students return, and new students were coming in. I'm one of the few teachers that has not built my clientele from trials. Most of the teachers will tell you, well, get the trials and you will gain regulars from the trials, from brand new students. I do have some that were early students, with very small numbers. We're in your first 12 class. But honestly, most of my students are already well established with 30 or more classes when they come to me, um, which is contrary to the average um, recommendation. I have taught 2 trials in 1 year. 2. I've been booked for 5. Obviously, 3 no-showed. Um, and I've only actually um, I've only taught 2. Um, 2 of those canceled before I even had to teach them, and before the 24 hours. So if you look at my status, I've got 3 classes through trials. But then as January progressed, I sent in a ticket that says, I'm really close to 45 classes for the month of January. I would like to get to 45 classes because that's where you got a bonus. I was going to finish with like 42 classes for the month of January. And those last 2 weeks, they said, do this, do this, do this. And I did all those things. I was taking lots of workshops. And I got 5 more bookings. I ended up with 46 classes for January. And I was so excited. February, they're like, your bookings are going to come down. Your bookings are going to come down. And that's not what happened. My bookings started going up because I was opening short notice slots. I was telling the learning partners that were still booking, thank you so much. And I'm a good teacher. So I began to get rebookings. During the Chinese New Year last year, I picked up 5 regular students. 3 of them were fairly new. They were under 20 classes. And the other 2 were highly established. One, I think, lost their level 2 teacher because I started with level 3. The other one, I'm not real sure. She's still with me. And she had over 100 classes. Um, so, you just go with the flow. Be willing to open those extra slots. Be willing to teach at midnight. By the end of February, I was really getting into a role. I think I finished with almost 100 classes, 80 classes, 70 classes, something like that in February, which was, considering where I was starting, was a high number. So don't be afraid of those cancellations. It's not I was canceled and you have your bookings. The way the numbers go right now, this says I have, okay, now it says 6. Did you see how quickly that changes? I wasn't booked 6 times and then 2 of those canceled. I was booked 8 times and 2 of those canceled. Of those 2, it may or may not be the same student. If it's the same student, check and see if it's for the same slot. If you were not watching your countings, you may not see the numbers changing. You may only see your one slot. So don't stress it. Don't worry about it. Just take it as it goes. If you get a day off, celebrate, sleep in, do something different. If you have a no-show, read the library, do feedback. Use your time productively. Even VIPkid says, bring a book. No way. I'll be sucked into the book and miss my next class. Bye bye.